from batshit bonkers Britain, or rather of the road where I'm in training for my next tour. The Church of England has declared that it will hand over £1 billion in reparations to people who have never been slaves on behalf of people who have never owned slaves. And despite having an investment portfolio in the order of about £10 billion, the Church of England would like this money to come from someone else. So it's going to be handing the begging plate around. Probably best at this point, for my personal safety, not to mention the fact that the people profiting from the trafficking of human flesh across the Med right now are heads of churches and other religious organisations. In other news, Trump absolutely smashed it on Super Tuesday, winning a projected 14 states out of 15. So Nikki Haley gets one state, Vermont. She says she is not going to drop out of the race and is increasingly looking like that darling swimmer Eric the Eel at the Olympics, but no way near as likeable. Presumably she's just going to keep going until all of her donors quit. And finally, I've received an email from the BBC. They're planning a hit piece on me because of my support of the Welsh farmers. You may be aware from my videos, Welsh farmers are being forced off their land. This year they're supposed to hand over 10% in order to build woods or have forests planted, and another 10% for the wildlife. In another year, of course, it will be more than that, all of it designed to make farming completely impossible for these people. The BBC allege, through the use of commentators, that I am trying to hijack this story for my own gain. This is personally upsetting to me because I own nothing, I want nothing, I don't want stuff, I don't see what gain there is. But that isn't the point. The point is that the story is Welsh farmers, and Welsh farmers being forced off their land by pen pushers in the Senate. And I would much prefer the BBC focus on the truths of that story, whatever they will be, rather than come to me to try to get their clicks. I'll say, not that I need to put up my own defence, but I come from farming. I have a daughter who's employed as a dairy farmer. And if you know me at all, you'll know that I spent 3 months at some personal risk on farms in South Africa in support of white farmers. But as I say, it's not about me. I share this really just as an example of how the BBC uses narratives in order to push a certain agenda, which is that people like me, the far right, hijack causes for their own ends. And what I want to do is refocus this away from me and anything to do with me. I am not relevant to this. Back to the farmers who are struggling, who need help and don't need politicians telling them what to do or forcing them off of their land. And that, my friends, is it for today from Batshit Bonkers Britain.